and gentlemen, boys and girls, we thank you so much for coming today to listen to our documentary on the topic women's rights.
We hope we did not bore you too much. Today we'll be discussing this topic and how it has broke barriers in America, the effects it's had on individual people, and the final result and everything.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
And silence your cell phones.
Yeah.
Please. And the exits.
Women's rights broke down lots of barriers in American history. The biggest barrier was broken in 1921 when the 19th Amendment was passed that allowed all women in America to vote. This gave women in America equal opportunities. It took strong, independent, and devoted women to stand up for what is right.
Since almost the beginning of time, women have been thought as equal. Women in the past have been paid less than men. In the late 1700s, women were not allowed to own their own properties or keep their own earnings. Women were not allowed to vote. By 1777, all states in the U.S. had passed laws that didn't allow women to vote.
Women's rights were at an all-time low when the government was having problems. During slavery, the War of Independence, War of 1812, the Civil War, World War I, and the Great Depression were things going on historically when women's rights were being pushed aside. In the past, it was never socially or culturally wrong for women to be treated poorly. When men were drafted off to fight in wars, women took over a lot of jobs that were typically done by men with little to no credit. Women were supposed to be homemakers and stay home and cook and clean. In the household hints brochure shown, there were lots of things that women should do to be a good wife and mother. Like shown in the picture, women were also supposed to dress and look a certain way. There had always been a very specific mold that women were supposed to fit into, and if you didn't fit into it, you were looked down upon. The biggest thing that set men and women apart was the right to vote. During this time, not all states had passed laws allowing women to vote.
Most women weren't okay with the differences in rights and opportunities. Women like Susan B. Anthony did things like gaining the right to vote as a woman was a long and hard process. There were anti-suffragettes parties and petitions for women to not be able to vote. These people felt like that women did not need to or even cared to vote. They felt like them voting would be a waste of time and energy. Many women found their points very offensive. Like pictured, men also felt that women being able to vote would also hinder some of their opportunities as men because they would have to take over some of their jobs as homemakers.
The Women's Right Convention was one big thing that took place that helped things get better. This event was kind of the beginning of women's rights movement in America. From there, things slowly got better. After petitions, parades, and campaigns, women slowly became equal to men. When the 19th Amendment was passed in 1919, all women in America were allowed to vote.
From there, women have had many more opportunities, and so many social and cultural norms have been broken. In the 1920s, there were women who became flappers. Flappers were rebellious and dressed and acted in ways women culturally weren't supposed to. Flappers are known as the first generation of independent American women. Maria Gaetana took risks and chances, and she became the first woman college professor at Harvard University. In 1932, the first woman was elected into the U.S. Senate, and in 1963, the Equal Pay Act was passed, allowing more and more equality for women. Today, we have women running for president, serving in the Supreme Court, and doing things that women in the past couldn't have done without the laws the government has passed and social and cultural barriers being broken.
Now, thank you so much for coming to the end of our documentary. We hope you walked away from learning something on how women's rights has broken barriers in American history. Thank you so much, and have a great day.